Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. Thanks again for watching on Wednesday the 24th of September. And the Weather Wolf has been sniffing out some sunshine this afternoon. Yep, there he is, Freddie the Weather Wolf. We haven't seen him for a few weeks, have we? He's right next to me at the moment. And he's been sniffing out the sunshine. And he certainly found it today. Look, this is the satellite picture from this afternoon. Some good spells of sunshine across the country for most of us. But tomorrow's cloud and drizzle waiting in the wings here. And that's going to be bringing quite a cloudy day, particularly across more western parts during the course of Thursday, with lots of coastal mist and drizzle. And really what we're going to be facing over the next few days is northern and western areas tending to see that drizzle. Probably more eastern areas becoming brighter and sunnier. It could become very warm through the weekend and into the early stages of next week. But as you know, on the look ahead here, we tend to focus on the medium range, and models having a little bit of a struggle to what will be going on. This is the comparison of the Canadian, we've got the GFS, the ECMWF and the UK Met Office here. And this is all valid for next Tuesday, so the 30th. And what I want you to notice is there's pretty good agreement between them. Look, we've got a trough out here towards the west, or in some cases over the country. UK Met keeping it much further west, but others generally in agreement as to where it will be on Tuesday. By Wednesday, the trough basically has moved its way east away from the UK, but we've got this more developing feature out towards the west, and you notice that the ECMWF has a sharper feature, but it also tries to build, look, this ridge in from the southwest, and the Canadian doing very similar as well. GFS is basically on its own in trying to bring through the westerlies, and I think it's betraying its roots a little bit. The GFS has consistently over the years wanted to bring the westerlies back, so we do tend to kind of drift away from the GFS when it's doing this, because it's got a track record basically of wanting to bring the westerlies back in too quickly. So we'll concentrate on the ECMWF and the Canadian. And by Thursday, look, the Canadian has the trough out towards the west. There's the ridge building through. Also notice here's the trough as well, with a further ridge here, look, on the ECMWF. That's the high building in, although there is some discrepancy over exactly where it's going to be. And then just notice what's happening here, look. We've got the trough out towards the west at 2:16 hours. So this is the forecast for Friday. There it is, and again on the ECMWF. But notice this cold pool that's developing here over central part of Europe. Now, that has quite a bearing, because what that then does is it squeezes away the high, look, here towards the east and north. By day 10 at 240 hours, the Canadian has the high out towards the east. It has a cold pool of sorts here centred across western parts of France. But look, the ECMWF keeps that feature going far more than the Canadian, whilst keeping the trough out towards the east and the high, the trough out towards the west and the high out towards the east. So we're kind of leaning towards ECMWF territory just at the moment, and it's useful to see what happened in years gone past when we've had a similar pattern develop. And the analogues today coming up with 1953 as a more similar year, and this is the forecast for next Wednesday. So it's showing us the high anomalies out towards the east. We've got this trough out towards the west, and it's interesting to see. This is 8 days time, remember, this is next week, and as we've just seen there, the ECMWF leans into this idea, as does the Canadian, of that high being out towards the east. It certainly makes more of the low in the heights and the trough you see there across western Portugal, but we'll forgive that in the analogies, because this is then the forecast for next Wednesday. But what happens beyond that? So we are going to go with the idea of the high pressure building in, of things becoming warm. I can't say it's going to be sunny, because I do think there'll be some clouds and drizzle around, particularly in the west. But what about the 2 weeks following? What does that say? Well, back in 1953, this is what happened in the following 2 weeks. And you see here, look, the higher the normal heights off towards the east. There, look, is the low pool, the cold pool down towards the south, low up towards the northwest, and higher than normal heights down towards the southeast. So what happened here was that we had way higher than normal heights off towards the east. We had an east to southeasterly flow. High pressure was maintained, but then occasionally the trough tried to get into the west, eroding things and bringing some showers at times and some outbreaks of rain through Ireland, through Western Wales and through southwestern parts of England. And do you know what? I think that's pretty much is the way we're going to see this happening for the first couple of weeks of October. And the CFS is picking up on that idea. This is the week 1 forecast to the end of the 29th of September. It's rainfall, and look, you can see how it puts most up towards the north and the west, very little across elsewhere in the country, and dry, essentially, southern England, northern parts of France, running through many parts of northern Europe. Week 2, which is the start of October, look, builds the high in, basically sticks it in here, and there's our cold pull, look, down towards the south, dry conditions across most of the UK, but some outbreaks of rain for Western Scotland and Western Ireland. Week 3, the high's still there, look, still here. Here's the impact of that cold pull across southern Europe, bringing the unsettled conditions. Yes, bits and pieces of rain and drizzle affecting northern and western areas, but essentially it's dry. In fact, the CFS tries to trip itself into dry mode completely then. This is week 4 up to the 20th of October. Still got the high in, still dry. There's our cold pull drifted off towards the east, look. Lots of rain out towards the west of us in the Atlantic, but staying dry in the UK. And then it tries to bring a breakdown of sorts into the west, but still, look, keeping the wetter weather down across southern parts of Europe, while most of the UK is dry with a high out here. Now, I think we've got to treat the week 4 and week 5 forecasts very, very cautiously. But I do think that we could look at dry weather dominating up to around the 14th or 15th of October at least. Need to watch for some mist and fog in the mornings, need to watch for some drizzle and perhaps even some showers affecting western areas. But I think for most, it looks as if that dry weather is in for some time. But also what's of interest is this. This is the overall CFS forecast of 500 millibar heights for the whole of October. And look, it's putting low than normal heights towards the north, higher than normal down towards the south. Well, that's the complete opposite of what we've just seen. Remember, this was the pattern of 2 weeks for following the D8 forecast, the day 8 forecast. So this is the 2 weeks as it would be if it was similar to 1953 at the beginning of October. And look, we've got high towards the north, we've got low towards the south, but that's where the CFS sees things going as October as a whole. So it would basically mean it's got to do a heck of a turnaround for that second half of the month to achieve that pattern, to put the high down towards the south, the low up towards the north, and this basically strong jet stream coming in from the west, bringing far more unsettled conditions. So is it going to be a month of 2 halves? So beginning dry and quite warm, and I think probably fairly misty and murky with that easterly wind. But then the second half, more unsettled, rain, particularly across the north and also the south. That seems to be the way this is leaning just at the moment. But of course, we'll have to wait and see, and we'll keep you updated here right the way throughout at weatherweb.net. But I'll leave you with that for now. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget that weatherweb.net is kept completely free of charge by you keep on coming back and using the site. It means we can put more adverts in front of you, and it's that generates the revenue that keeps us free of charge. So thank you for doing that. But for now, whatever you're doing, have a fantastic day and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.